Picture two guys pulling out of the exact same suburban neighborhood at 7:30 a.m. They are both 40 years old. They both have two kids. They both bring home the exact same paycheck. Fast forward 15 years. One of them is 55, gripping his steering wheel in gridlock traffic, his stomach doing flips because he just found out his roof needs replacing, and he has absolutely no idea how he's going to pay for it without drowning in credit card debt. Retirement? It's a fantasy. The other guy? He's 55, waking up on a Tuesday without an alarm clock. He checks his investment dashboard over a black coffee, closes his laptop, and takes his wife out for breakfast. He literally doesn't have to work another day in his life if he doesn't want to. Their names are Mark and James, and the massive chasm between their lives wasn't caused by an inheritance, a lucky crypto bet, or a lottery ticket. It was caused by four painfully boring, quiet decisions made between the ages of 40 and 50. Let's break down exactly what happened and how you can make sure you don't end up in the wrong car. Here is the biggest secret about your 40s that the financial industry barely talks about. This decade is your ultimate leverage window. Think about it. In your 20s, you had all the time in the world, but your net worth was basically the loose change in your couch. In your 30s, you finally started making decent money, but you were getting financially bludgeoned by life. Weddings, mortgages, daycare costs, student loans, every dollar was spent before it even hit your checking account. But your 40s? That's when the clouds part. You are likely in your peak earning years. The early adulthood chaos has settled. The kids are getting older. For the first time ever, you have a collision of high income and predictable expenses. Mark weaponized this window. James slept right through it. To understand Mark's wealth, we have to look at James's mistake. And it's brutal because James wasn't blowing his money in Vegas. He was just doing what society told him was normal. James got promotions. He got bonuses. But every single time his income bumped up, his lifestyle absorbed it like a sponge. He got a $15,000 raise? Awesome. Time to trade in the sedan for a luxury SUV. A nice bonus hit? Great. Let's upgrade the family vacation from driving to the lake to flying to Hawaii. This is the deadliest financial disease in the modern world. It's called lifestyle creep. It's deadly because it feels like success. You look richer. Your neighbors think you're richer. Your Instagram looks richer. But behind the scenes, you are running on a treadmill cranked to the maximum speed. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. You buy the bigger house, and 3 months later, it's just your house. You adapt. The thrill fades. So you buy the next thing. James spent 15 years running forward, but his net worth was frozen in carbonite. Mark had the exact same salary, but he asked a fundamentally different question. James asked, "What can I afford?" Mark asked, "What can I buy that will eventually pay me?" Mark realized that trading time for money is a trap you eventually have to age out of. He needed assets. He needed to hire little paper employees, dollar bills, that would work 24/7, never take a sick day, and never complain. So, Mark figured out his walkaway number. He didn't just say, "I want to be a millionaire." He looked at his actual yearly expenses. Let's call it $70,000 a year. He used the standard 4% rule of investing, multiplying that $70,000 by 25. His target? $1.75 million. The second he had a target, it stopped being a daydream and became a math equation. So, how did Mark hit that number by 55 while James was stressing over a roof repair? He made 4 moves. The first move, he ignored the phantom wealth trap. Both guys had a ton of equity in their homes by age 42. James did a cash-out refinance to build a massive outdoor kitchen and a fire pit. Mark left his equity completely alone. Instead of sinking cash into an upgraded patio, he shoved that extra money into S&P 500 index funds. James built a prettier cage. Mark bought his freedom. The second move, he abused the tax code. Mark relentlessly maxed out his 401k, but the real magic happened at age 50. He utilized IRS catch-up contributions, allowing him to legally shield an extra $7,500 a year from taxes and dump it straight into his investments. James? He contributed 4%, just enough to get his company match, and spent the rest. The third move, he built a backup engine. James relied on one paycheck. Mark knew that was terrifying. While working his 9-to-5, Mark slowly built secondary income. He bought dividend ETFs. He picked up a modest, boring duplex that cash flowed a few $100 a month. If Mark lost his job, he had a parachute. If James lost his job, he was in free fall. The fourth move is the ego check, and this is the hardest one. When the friend group booked a luxury ski trip to Aspen, Mark opted out. He kept driving his 9-year-old Toyota. He didn't make a big scene about it. He just quietly chose his future freedom over his present-day ego. James went to Aspen. He looked rich for a weekend, but he traded years of his future to pay for it. If you're sitting here thinking you'll start focusing on this in a few years, let me show you the math that will keep you awake tonight. Let's say you invest just $500 a month, earning an average 8% return. If you start at age 40 and stop at 65, you end up with roughly $475,000. If you wait just 5 years and start at age 45, you end up with about $295,000. Read that again, the same $500, the same market, but waiting just 60 months costs you $180,000. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, but it is utterly unforgiving to those who wait. Mark and James didn't have different luck. They had different habits. They made tiny, unsexy choices over 5,000 consecutive days. If you are listening to this, you are already ahead of 90% of the population because you are actively looking for the exit door to the rat race. Your 40s are not the end of the line. They are your greatest launch pad. The math is still there. The window is still open. But the clock is absolutely ticking. Who are you going to be at 55? The choice starts with whatever you do today. If this video gave you a wake-up call, hit the subscribe button.